Well, welcome to Comparative World Religions. We're going to be studying some different religions uh, through this semester and looking forward to giving you some insightful information about cultures around the world. I want you to understand that religions are more than just a belief system. There is a culture involved, and there's certainly a long history. I don't know it all, but we're going to be introduced to several here, and there are some symbols on this page that reflect the different religions that we are going to study. The textbook we're going to use is called The Invitation to World Religions. It's a Oxford University Press book. Mr. Broad and Little are two of the authors, and there are four more. But it's Invitation to World Religion, the third edition. We'll be using this for your study guides. For quizzes, you'll need to look, you'll need to read these chapters, and we'll get an introduction of what's going around in the world from the religious aspect. I want to introduce you to myself. Here, a couple different pictures. On the left side, I'm at the tomb of Agamemnon. It's in Greece, Mycenae, Greece, in 2018. His gold mask is found at the bottom of that picture. And Agamemnon, if you're not familiar with Greek mythology, a little history is that Agamemnon was the general or the leader that brought together the Greek army to fight Troy in the Trojan Wars. And they went to get Paris back. Agamemnon's family was full of murder and treachery and incest and full of a lot of stuff. But at any rate, there's a tomb there in Greece I was able to go to. They found the tomb about 150 years ago, dug out, found it was already empty. But this whole area of Mycenae and the history of Agamemnon and a lot of Greek mythology really came to life when they dug up these tombs and other things around it. Also, I've traveled throughout Israel, and I backpacked about 35 miles and enjoyed backpacking one cold winter morning in Jerusalem. And we're in the Mount of Olives looking across the Kidron Valley into Jerusalem, and the golden dome of the rock is what you see. That's the gold dome in the background there. That is where the Temple of Israel that Solomon originally built would have been, and the temple that Jesus visited that Herod the Great helped remodel. So Herod the Great, you need to remember that. He's the man who really gave the Jews a great looking temple, grander, more gold, more precocious, if you will, even during his lifespan than even in Solomon's time. It's the largest temple of ancient history. But this is me and in my travels. This is my family. At the bottom left, you see Randy, my wife. Here is a picture of her, and here and here. We have been together for 35 years and have 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and so we have Rachel and David and Joshua, and in that order. And so, just to let you know a little bit about my family. So my personal life is not just about teaching. I'm an adjunct professor at Labette Community College. That means I can only teach 3 classes a semester, and it means that I probably have a full-time job elsewhere doing other things. I am a full-time minister at Westside Christian Church in Parsons, and I work with the community through the Lions Club, through a Parsons Paint Project, through the Chamber of Commerce, the Ministerial Association, and other things. So there you have that. Welcome to Comparative World Religion. We're going to be looking at the syllabus now just for a couple minutes. You need to make sure you do the syllabus quiz and go over the attendance quiz. Fill out that one question in red zone under coursework. That is where all of your assignments will be. The syllabus is listed there. It's on the main page. Well, it is not on the main page. It's in its own portal called the syllabus, and you have a downloadable version that is a PDF file or a Word doc file, or you can just read it online there in Red Zone. And there's a couple things that are important that will be highlighted in this syllabus quiz. Attendance for an online class has to do with basically just doing the work, emailing me and doing the quizzes. If you do that, you're responsible for payment of the class. Otherwise, if it's a one meeting a class a week, 2 attendances or more could get you to drop the class. Or if you're a 3-day a week taking a class person on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for instance, you could have up to 6 absences. Online, it's a challenge. This is not to go at your own pace. You need to follow my pace. You need to do the assignments on time. So follow those. They are in red zone under coursework. You need to participate. So be sure to do that. On the discussion board, you must post maybe 2 times a week, possibly 4. You're going to do your own post, and then you're going to reply to a couple posts for each question that I have. So you have to do that to participate and to get a good grade in the class. Grades are based on points, and they'll have opportunities for extra credit, but right now you just need to do the grades and make sure that you're turning these things in on time and in the right format in Red Zone. Okay, all assignments must be turned into the MLA8 writing style format, and through Red Zone I'm not taking handwritten or email work. I would rather you do it on time and to the right formatting. And I'll explain what MLA8 is. That's a particular writing style that needs to be done. And our English department uses it at LCC. I use it, and others may. So we'll teach you a little bit about that. Don't turn in any PDFs or Google Docs or any links to your assignment. It needs to be done in a Word document. An RTF is fine, a DOCX is fine, no late work. But make sure you do the attendance quiz first, along with some syllabus quiz. And in order to get an A in this class, you must do your major papers about the different religions. You must do the final exam and the final paper as well. Yeah, you may miss a few assignments here and there, but be a point squirrel and get as many points as you can. I will explain the assignments as they go, and I'll explain a little bit here, but this is a picture of Red Zone and let you know here's the main page. This is what's going to show up every time. The coursework is where your assignments are. Then we go down here to syllabus. If you click on that, the syllabus will show up. I don't do a lot just on this page for these things. It just gives you an idea. We're going by lessons. Basically, each lesson is 2 weeks long during a regular course of a semester. If it's a shortened class or if it's a summer class, these lessons are 1 week and they can be grueling. But when you go to Red Zone, make sure you're looking at your grade book. Make sure you're looking at your coursework and following all the assignments. The discussion board, you can click here or you can go there. As I said, you will do a discussion board a couple times a week, maybe 4 or 6 or something. But you need to answer the question with about 100 words, I believe, and then do a post on other people. Need to get attuned to what this is, and basically my discussion board posts, your initial post needs to be done by Thursday night, and your final post needs to be completed by Sunday night. All of your assignments will be turned in on Sunday night for an online class, and for in-class assignments just look for the due dates, and most inline people won't be watching this video anyway. This is what the discussion board might look like, and there's just an introduction. Introduce yourself, get to know each other. We're going to have to feed off of each other for some of the assignments anyway, and it'll help you learn about these different religions. When you turn in your classwork, all assignments will be done in MLA 8 formatting style, and this is what it entails every time. First of all, it's called your last name and the page number, but it's in the header of the paper. There's a line right here that you can't see. If you click on it in your page layout, there is a header. You can push your insert button and insert a page number for your header, but make sure your last name appears there. Give it 1 space and then use the insert tool to add the page number. If you do not use the insert tool, page number 1 or whatever number you put here will show up through the rest of the pages. So make sure you do that properly, and then when you get done with that, you'll come back and enter your name, my name, and the name of this class, Comparative World Religion. Those you don't need to ever change again. You will need to change the date and do that by the assignment turn-in, and then your paper will be different. This particular paper is done in the MLA 8 style, and you can read this and it'll tell you exactly how to do it. I'll give you a practice paper assignment so you can turn it in to me. I will look at it, tell you what's wrong with it, send it back to you, and have you redo it until you get it right. I'll do this up to 2 or 3 times, and then I'll get tired of it and let you suffer for it if you don't make the proper changes. All assignments coming after that will be graded 20 or knocked off 20% for not getting your format correct. That is, if you don't have the page number, and if you don't have the heading right, the page number is in the header, your heading is your name, my name, and the class and all that. And if it's not double spaced throughout with no extra spaces between paragraphs, notice between this paragraph and the next one, it looks just like the rest. There's no extra spaces. Be sure to follow the guidelines set forth in this paper so that you can get your MLA 8 formatting done correctly. Every week there will be assignments, and some of these assignments will be article summaries or possibly chapter summaries. You'll have discussion online, and there'll be worksheets, and there'll be other things going on. Just look at those, the quizzes, and you'll need to be using the textbook to do this. So please follow the guidelines. Make sure you're paying attention to the dates of what's going on. With this assignment set, you're going to do a religion paper on a particular theme of your choice. Now, there's a list of topics here to choose from. You can, maybe you're focusing on medical practices, maybe you're interested in weddings or death funeral rituals. Maybe you're interested in the texts of the different religious groups, or maybe a particular ritual, say with water, like baptism, or what they do with water in the different religions. Or maybe a special day of interest, how they celebrate, what's important throughout the year for that religion. If you would like something different, let me know, ask so I can be aware of what's going on. But these papers, every religion paper that you do when it comes to the main religions, you will be doing it on the theme of your choice. Once you pick that theme, you need to use that for that same theme for the paper on Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, etc. And I'll give you some choices of doing other ones because we're doing 10, 11 religions, and I'm not going to have you do that many papers, but I will have you choose if you would like to do one of Shinto, of Sikhism, or Zoroastrianism. You take your choice and do one of those three or something like that, and you'll understand better when we get through it. But I just want you to understand that the theme paper is of your choice out of this list. So please be aware of that. And then when it comes to the papers for each lesson, it will be on that theme. Now this is just a picture of the different symbols of the different religions. I'm going to start outside here at the bottom left. This is Zoroastrianism. It started some 4,000 years ago, 2000 BC. This is a torii gate from Shinto. They're very popular in Japan. It looks like a K here with a couple extra appendages, but that is from Confucianism. And on the right here, this is Jainism. It's like maybe a model dress for a mannequin. And then you have the swastika, and then the ahimsa hand. It's the palm, open palm with a circle in the middle of it. But this is from a Jainist perspective, and you'll get to know these later. The symbol for Buddhism is at the bottom of the square in the middle, right under the earth. And I'm going to go clockwise here. The Buddhist circle, the eight spokes. This is pretty typical. And then there's a Sikhism. There's a circle with a sword in the middle and two swords on the outside. And then you have a Star of David. And it is basically two equilateral triangles of the same size juxtaposed. So there are 6 points to the Star of David. Then there's the moon and the partial moon and the star. That's Islam. This circle with kind of an S with the 2 dots. This is a Taoism. It's a dualistic philosophy religion. And then we have, looks like an E with a line and a little cap maybe. But this is Hinduism. It's the Om of Hinduism. And then you have a cross that's pretty familiar to Christians and around the world on churches. So those are different symbols we'll be studying and getting familiar with this semester. I want you to see the different religions of the world by size. From the top, we have Christianity with the largest group, about 500 million less is Islam. And I want to point out in this particular page, the ones highlighted in yellow are the ones I will talk about. They are the ones we will cover in this class. Hinduism, there's 900, almost a billion, but 900 million. The Chinese traditions, which includes both Taoism and Confucianism, is about 400 million. Then Buddhism is about 400 million as well, not quite as many, but 376 million. Sikhs, we don't have a lot of Sikhs in America. There's one in Canada, in Toronto. He's playing or sitting on the side of the Raptors ball games. Sikhs are pretty easy to identify because they're wearing this great big turban of a massive cloth on their head. Sikhs, there's about 23 million in the world. Jews, there's only 14 million. That's 0.5% of the entire world's population. Not many Jews out there. Jainists is even less. There's only 4.2 million Jains. Most of them are in India. Of those in Shinto, there's not a great identifier for them, but most of them live in Japan, and they worship in a unique way, and really there's not a lot of texts for Shinto. And Zoroastrianism is kind of a new one for me, and in this book they're focusing on it, but very few people, and in fact I think this is overstated for that many people, at 2.6 million in the whole world, but a very small group. Here's a pie chart just to let you see the different adherents, and if that's important to you, you can pause this and study it, but we'll go on. And then we look at the world as a whole and see where the blue and kind of a light purple colors are Christian, Catholic, Orthodox. They're all Christian, by the way. They're Protestant, Orthodox, and Catholic are the three breakdowns of Christianity. They're not different religions. They're just different manifestations of the different denominational groupings. And they're the main basic groupings of the Christian religion. It's the largest one. And then the green ones are the breakdowns of Islam. And there are several groups of Islam, but the main two groups are Sunni and Shiite, or Shia. And then there's some other ones. And then the Hindu basically are all in India, and the Buddhists are mostly in China. So there they are, just looking, and then as another look. I think maps are important to help us understand the world. Here, there are three major religions that started in this picture. Basically, this is the picture of the Middle East, which is Asia Minor. So we have here Israel and Saudi Arabia. There's Iraq and Iran. It's pretty good size. Turkey here. And the three major religions are, and in order of their beginnings, are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And the most important mosques in Islam are found in this picture also. The most important Islamic mosque is found in Mecca. The second most important is in Medina, where Muhammad died. And the third most important mosque is in Jerusalem. It's the Dome of the Rock that you saw earlier. And then there's one other religion that started in this picture in Iran, Iraq area, in this neighborhood, Zoroastrianism. So there you have pretty much most of the major religions, and then here are some other religions that are somewhat major, but they are founded in just these two countries of today, China and India. And they include Hinduism, Jainism, Shinto, kind of a grouping because those were not sure exactly when they started. And then the idea of Buddhist, Taoism, and Confucianism, we know that they started around 500 BC. And then Sikhism started pretty clearly right around the 15th century in India, in Punjab, right in this area of India. Well, welcome to World Religions, and we're going to take a look at these things, so let's get started. Do a little summary of this video, and make sure you do the other assignments, and then we'll go forward.